Hi, good afternoon. My name is Tammy Putnam. I am the Regional Project Specialist for Better Living for Texans. Today, Lillian Folsom, who is the evaluator, and I are going to give you some basics on Excel. The title of this is Microsoft Excel Basics for You to Excel. We're doing this for the Association Epsilon Sigma Phi of Texas Alpha Zeta Chapter. Thank you. Hi, Lillian. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, Tammy. I was returning your call.
I'm having some issues. I'm trying to put together a spreadsheet, and I know how good you are at doing this. Look, what do you think? I have my rows and my columns.
I think that's a great art project, but I don't think that's going to get you the results that you need for what you're trying to accomplish.
Well, I need your help, please.
Okay. Well, I emailed you a file earlier, so go ahead and open up that file.
This file?
Yes. So what I think that we need to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to set this data up into a table format. And this is going to give you more flexibility, and it's going to give you more options when you're working with the data. And you're also going to be able to go in and sort and filter your data. So to get started, what I need for you to do is to place your cursor somewhere in that data range. Okay. So now that you've placed that cursor in there, what we want to do is on the Home tab, and I'm so used to calling it menu, and on the Home tab, to the right, find your Styles ribbon.
Okay.
And we want to select Format as a Table.
Oh, wow.
Right. So here you've got a wide variety of selection of tables. And this is basically going to be, you're going to select what your preference is. When I'm working with a lot of data, my preference is to have the grid lines in there, but it's going to be whatever works best for you.
So this one would be good then.
That's a great one. So once you select that, it's going to open up this dialog box, and you're going to see the range of data that is already selected. And I see that your data has column headings. So right there where it says my table has headers, yes, you want to click OK on that.
Oh, I like that.
It automatically formatted everything for you. It widened the columns, and it's alternating the colors in between each of the rows. Take a look at your table, and you'll notice that under each of the column headings, you'll see a little drop down. And that drop down is what we call a filter. And what it's going to do is going to allow you to filter the data based on the criteria that you selected. And you should only see one occurrence of each of the unique records in that column.
So why is there a Dura and a Durham?
Okay, great catch. That is probably because there is a misspelling. So what I would recommend for you to do is scroll back up to the top. Yes, select the okay. And then just go back in and select those two. And it's going to bring those two records back up. Is that the correct spelling, or is it in fact misspelled?
No, it is misspelled. So I'm going to go in and just add right here, and it'll correct the whole. Okay.
Yes. And when we're filtering the records, Tammy, it's not deleting them or anything else. It's just simply, it's like we're pulling them out of a bucket and we're just setting those aside. And then when you go back in and clear that filter, it's putting everything back together again.
Okay, so to clear the filter, I just click again and select all.
Select all, and it brings all of the records back up again.
Oh, yay.
Okay, so let's take a look at another example. Let's say that you wanted to see all of the data, let's say for, I don't know, pick one of your schools there.
Okay, let's do Emerson.
Okay, so go back up to the top to that filter button
Okay,
and then select Emerson.
okay, Emerson. Okay,
And there you go. So it's displaying all of the data specifically for Emerson. Let's go back to that and select all of the records. And let's take a look at the data and see one that has, let's see, we have 2 Ashfords. So let's go ahead and go back to the elementary school, the filter button. And then this time around, let's select Ashford. Okay, and the reason that I wanted you to do this is because it has multiple lines for the same elementary school. So let's say, for instance, Tammy, that you wanted to, based on the records that are being displayed, that you wanted to just quickly see, oh, how many students actually attended both of these. So if you take your cursor and you highlight both of those, take a look at the bottom of the screen. You'll notice that you've got a count, you've got a sum, and you've got an average on there. So you could do that for any of the fields that you selected.
oh, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead and go back and clear the filter and bring all of your data back. Great. Okay, so now that we've got all of your data set up in a table, why don't we take a look at setting up some formulas?
Okay,
Sound good? Okay, so what we want to do is go to cell D18.
D18. Okay,
Okay, and on the Home tab, what you want to do is look for that auto sum button. There you go.
right here.
Yes, that's the auto sum. So go ahead and click that.
Wow.
And you see how it automatically set the formula up, and now it's giving you the sum of all of the numbers in that column. And if you click to the right-hand side of that, Tammy, you'll also notice that each of those other columns have that same little drop-down arrow. Now, if you click in that drop-down arrow, right where you're at, go ahead and click in the drop-down. You notice it gives you an option of several different things, your min, max, sum, whatever it is that you want. In this case, we want to go ahead and use the sum. So go ahead and click on sum. And there it is. Another option that you have, Tammy, is if you go back to D18, you click in that cell, and you see at the bottom right of that cell, that little cross is what they call the fill handle. So if you drag that across, it carries that formula.
Wow. Very good.
So now that you've got that set up, I think that you need to probably go ahead and format the columns according to the type of data that is in there. And let's see, in column, what is it, F and H, you've got F, H, and J, you've got a cost. So if you go in and you select those columns, and if you use your control key and click on each of those columns, the control key allows you to select non-adjacent data and keep it together. And then up on the top, what you want to do under to the right of your alignment right there, you want to select the currency.
So just the $ right there is fine.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's changed that formatting to currency.
Wow. Very good. Okay, Lillian, I think I want to make this look a little bit better. Can you help me with that?
That's a great idea, Tammy. So let's go ahead and start by going to column B, row 5, where you've got your title there, and click on there and drag all the way across to column J. And then what you want to do under the alignment is go ahead and merge and center.
Oh, very good.
Okay, so while you're there, if you go to the left under the font, you can change your color by clicking drop down and selecting a color. If you want to make it, it's already bold. If you want to italicize it, increase the font size. Tammy, I just noticed also in column F on row 18, you see how it's showing all those pound signs?
Oh, yes. How do I
Okay.
get rid of that?
Well, what that's telling you is that that column isn't wide enough to display all that data. So an easy way to do this is if you go and you click on the Select All button, which is on the left-hand side of column A and above row 1, click on that little square there. And it selects, when you click on it, it selects your entire worksheet. And then go and double click between one of the headings. And then it will automatically adjust all of the columns in your table for you.
Oh, good. Now I can see everything. How about like the headers? Can we do something to make them stand out?
Yes, I was just going to say that. So what I was going to suggest is go ahead and highlight all of those column headings, and then you can go in and you can either change the font color, or you can go ahead and fill it with a different color to highlight it as well.
What about underlining? That's good.
Okay.
Okay.
And you may also, on your total, on row 18 where you have your totals,
Yes.
maybe you want to go in and bold those.
Or why not make them, can we make them red? It kind of makes them stand out. Is that too much?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Now that you've completed your table, I think what you really need is to add some charts. And the easy way to do this is for you to come in and select all of the data in your table. Okay, and the shortcut is the Alt and then the F1 key, and it's going to automatically generate a chart. And there it is.
Wow.
Just like magic. Okay, so go ahead and move that hello. I would move it a little further down, just a little bit.
Sorry.
Got it?
Yes.
Okay, so what we want to do is I want you to click on the outside of the chart.
Okay. Like outside here?
The outside border, okay. And up on the top, you'll notice that you're now on the chart design.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to show you is towards the right-hand side under that data ribbon, it says switch row and column. So what that's going to do, did you see how the chart changed? It's switching your row and your column headings.
Wow.
So it's just going to be the way that you want to present your data. The next thing that I want to show you is if you go to the right one under the select data, it's going to bring up basically all of the fields in that table that you selected. So let's just say in this particular chart, since we've got everything selected right now, it's not really very meaningful data. Let's just say we want to take a look at the attendance. So on the left-hand side of that, what you want to do is just make sure that your attendance field is checked.
Okay.
But, okay, that's because, okay.
Like that? Because now just attendance?
Yes.
So click OK.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So now it's just showing the attendance field.
Very good.
Okay. Let's go in, and now you still have the chart selected. So if you go up to the top left, you'll see add chart elements. So go ahead and select that. And let's add a chart title. So select chart title. And then where do you want this chart title placed?
Above. I think it's already up there now that I'm hovered over it.
Okay, so go ahead and click on that. And then you can go in and modify that title to whatever it is that you want it. So since this is on attendance, makes sense to obviously call it attendance.
Very good.
Okay, so let's click back on the outside border of the chart, and let's go back up to add the chart element.
Okay.
And this time around, I like to add data labels, simply for the fact that you don't have to sit here and try to guesstimate what number, what the value of that bar is. So go ahead and let's select the data labels and the placement where you want it.
Very good. So then how many.
Exactly.
I like that. Thank you.
I think what I'd like for you to do is to go ahead and let's make another chart, but this time we're going to make the chart based on showing the cost fields. So an easy way to do that is to select that chart and then copy it, and then we're going to paste. Okay, so now, being that this is going to be based on the cost fields, what we want to do is come in and make some modifications to this particular chart. So make sure that you click on that outside edge, and on the chart design ribbon up at the top, let's go into the to the switch row and column, and let's make that switch, and then over to the select data to the right of, okay, there you go. And then this time what we want to do is we want to unselect attendance, and then we want to just select the cost fields. Okay, so as you can see, those data labels are a little bit scrunched up. So you're still, the chart is still selected. So let's go back up to the top right under add chart elements, the left. And under the data labels, let's go ahead and change the placement of it. Probably to the outside end would be a little bit better. Yeah, that's cleaned it up quite a bit. Okay, so then obviously since this one is not on attendance, you want to go ahead and change that chart title.
So now we have attendance, and now we have cost.
Yes, and you have your table of data up above. So at this point, Tammy, I think that's what you were looking for to complete your project, was it not?
Yes, thank you so much. And it looks so much nicer than this.
Okay, so the next thing we need to do is go ahead and let's print your project.
Okay.
So let's go up to the top left and select File. Up in the top menu, File, Print.
Okay.
And
hey, how do you put the date and it seems like I've seen some of yours with the date and maybe the time or the page or something at the bottom?
Very observant of you, Tammy. Okay, so what you want to do is click on the left-hand side where it says Page Setup. And then we want to go to the Header Footer tab.
And then footer, because it's at the bottom.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay, so that footer is divided into 3 sections, the left, the center, and the right. And you can go ahead and use the little icons up above and insert whatever it is that you want. So I typically put in like the date. And then if I have multiple page numbers, I can go ahead and put the page numbers as well. But it's whatever your preference is. And if you're working with a file and you're going to be printing it multiple times during the day, I typically add the time on there so that way I know which is the, the most recent version. So I think you're good to go.
Yes. Yay.
And there you go.
Date and time. Thank
Yes.
you.
You're very welcome.